Hello folks, welcome to my YouTube channel. I'm here today and I'm going to talk about, if you're talking about narcissism, folks, that doesn't make you crying and being pitiful or make you weak or anything. If anything, if you're a survivor of domestic violence, folks, you have already become a strong person because narcissism is very dangerous, folks, and you go through a lot when you've been with a narcissist. And when someone is trying to tell you that you're crying and being pitiful because you share your story, that's somebody that's trying to sweep narcissism under the rug. And when you are trying to sweep it under the rug, folks, it's not going to help other people that's been in narcissism. Because it could be somebody like myself who never realized that there was such thing as narcissism, folks. When you share your story with others, that helps them to see what's going on with narcissism, and it helps you to steer clear of that kind of stuff, because a lot of survivors out here that's telling their story, they're hoping that someone who doesn't know what narcissism is comes along and, you know, they hear all these stories about how you've been through narcissistic abuse. It might help them out of a bad situation, folks. Well, I don't feel like I'm a coward or crying and being pitiful whenever I share my stories with people. That's not what my goal is here. My goal is to help people get out of domestic violence and stay safe. I've been out of abuse for a long time now, and I don't feel weak or pitiful or anything like that, folks. If anything, me being a survivor of domestic violence makes me strong, and then on top of that, if I'm able to survive and tell my story, that makes me a brave person, folks, right? Well, don't let people take your voice away, folks, just because they choose to sweep narcissism under the rug, because that's not fair to other people out here that doesn't know anything about it. And it's not right for people to form their opinions on anything when they don't know what they're talking about, folks. I don't let what others say affect the way I get on here and tell my story about narcissism. I'm glad that I'm able to get on here and help others see how dangerous narcissism can be for you. And we all know that narcissists are very weak people, folks. That's they're the weak people, folks. And the only thing that I can draw the conclusion on about someone making the comment about you being weak and being a crybaby because you're getting on YouTube and sharing your story, that might be a narcissist themselves, folks, and it's melting them like a stick of butter. Well, that's okay, folks. If we can do something to help others by sharing our stories, there's nothing wrong with it, folks. And I won't never let no one steal my voice away. The narcissist tried to do that when I was with the narcissist, and I'm not going to let them do that to me, folks. If I can be helpful and answer questions to somebody and help them in a way that, with a bad experience that I had, that's what I'm going to do. But don't let no one steal your voice, folks. If you've been through narcissism and everything and you choose to tell your story to help others, I think that makes you a strong person, folks. It doesn't have anything to do with crying or being pitiful. Because if you're a strong enough person, folks, to get out of narcissism, you're a very strong person, because it's very dangerous getting out of one of those relationships. But you know, I just couldn't believe it. I read that online somewhere today that somebody said you're weak and you're crying and being pitiful when you talk about narcissism. Well, that's not true, folks. If we didn't share our stories and tell others about it, then they would probably get out there and get in it too, right, folks? Well, that's just my opinion. And whenever I'm getting on here, folks, just remember, you know, the things that I say about narcissism is whatever I experienced when I was in it. And it's not crying and being pitiful. I don't feel pitiful at all, folks. If anything, I feel happy because I was strong enough to stand up and get out of narcissism and make my life completely turn around and find me a healthy man and living a peaceful life now, folks. So doesn't that make me a strong person? But I thank myself every day. I get up and I feel good every day because I know that I was strong enough to take that step. And the way I got out of it, folks, it was kind of dangerous because I didn't drive in a car to get away. I took what was necessary, walked on my feet, gathered up all my personal things that I could carry with my hands, and I headed out as soon as I got the chance, folks. And I never looked back, and that's what got me out of narcissism. And I'm hoping that there's others out here that can do that too, folks. It would make me feel very good, folks, if I could hear that me getting on here sharing the story that I went through has helped anyone else out here that's been in abuse. Because back when I was in abuse, folks, I would have loved to have seen somebody like myself on there to try to educate me about narcissism and how dangerous it was. Because when I first got in it, folks, that was with my first husband, who I had 3 children by. I didn't know anything at all about narcissism. No one ever talked about it. And I would have loved to have had somebody get on there and tell me about narcissists and how dangerous they were, folks. And I'm sure that there's others out here, the way people try to sweep it under the rug, that would probably love to hear about how to be brave and get out of the abuse pattern, folks. Because living in narcissism is unhealthy, folks. It doesn't have anything to do with getting on here crying about it. I don't really care what other people's opinions are, folks. I'm not going to let nobody steal my voice, and I'm going to keep on talking about narcissism and sharing my stories. Because I know that someday, maybe not right now, someday that I'll have somebody on here that maybe they didn't know anything about how narcissism can be dangerous and how it helped them get out, folks. But I wanted to get on here and share this with you, folks. Don't let nobody steal your voice. Because there's people out here that probably would like to silence you on talking about narcissism. Anything that you know that would help someone else, folks, It would be deeply appreciated to share your story and help others, folks. But the topic of this video will be don't let no one steal your voice. Well, thank you, folks, and you have a nice evening, and please subscribe. Thank you. Bye.